you have to, first of all, be honest with yourself and decide where your talents lie and what level you're going to play at. You know, are you going to get a basketball scholarship to the community college, or is Mike Krzyzewski from Duke going to be knocking on your front door every day? You got to know who you are. And once you know that and you say, okay, here's what we do really well. We're good at this. We think we're good. Then look at the marketplace and say, where are they buying that? Okay? And then do the best you can. Here's some practical things you can do. Look at LinkedIn. Most people don't use LinkedIn or the internet very well when they're looking for work. Look at some companies that you think that you can do some work for. Figure out who the principals are, or just go into LinkedIn and put the company name in there. Then look down all the way to the bottom. See where the people went to school. See what it says about, maybe their activities, what they, there's a lot of information there. Also, you can just Google the person's name. Like I had a situation a while back where I was going to talk to this company that possibly wanted to do work, and one of the principals was a woman, and I looked her up on LinkedIn, and I saw that she had studied fine art at the Sorbonne in Paris, which is about as good as it gets. And I mentioned that in the conversation, and she said, well, how did you know that? And I said, oh, well, I looked it up, and I'm interested in art, and I love Paris. And so we were able to establish a relationship that wasn't simply based on me wanting work. And if you can do that by looking down through what you'd be surprised. There's that movie, 6 Degrees of Separation.
I read somewhere that everybody on this planet is separated by only 6 other people.
You'd be surprised if you start to look at the world that way. What you're trying to do basically is not get your first job, but get your first meeting with somebody that can buy. And I find a lot of times, like being honest about that, and finding out who to talk to and trying to find someone you have some commonality with, some interest in common that may not be this, that at least opens the door. I have a friend, I just had lunch with him on Saturday. I mean, he's probably the best person that I've ever met that can get meetings, and I'll give him a plug here. His name's Joe Montalbano. And he used to get meetings at Apple, at Google. Nobody could get those meetings because he's just a personable guy. And he knew a lot of people in our business, and he'd find, oh, this person who's like 17th down at Google, I remember meeting them with Friends for Coffee one time 6 years ago. He just texted them, hey, remember me? And that's how you have to do it. One of his things he would do is he would send ice cream unsolicited to these people, like this really cool ice cream, and he would send it to them. And I remember once he was telling me, I think it was at Apple, he sent this woman that he had texted, he didn't know her, he sent her this ice cream as kind of a door opener, a gift. Well, she had been on vacation, and the way it was packaged, part of the bit was it was hard to tell it was ice cream. So it sat on her desk for 2 weeks, and it melted and just made a mess of her desk. And so he called to follow up, and she thought it was funny. And she said, you're not going to believe what happened. Well, and he got a meeting. She was one of I wouldn't say she was one of the top people at Apple, but she was in a decision-making position at Apple. And she thought it was hilarious. She came back to her office, and there was all this ice cream melted all over her desk. But that's one of the things he did. He always came up with creative ways to introduce himself instead of the sort of standard text or email or link or all those things. And he's really good at that. So when he does there's like a humanity to it. Because his attitude is, I don't know if you want to do business with us, but everybody likes ice cream. So this is my way. This is my gesture. And it worked pretty well. He got meetings like at just about anywhere. He had other techniques too, but that was one that always comes to mind. Yeah, you got to think out, there's all this think outside the box. It means think out. You know what I say to people when I texted them 10 times, and I'll say like this, I'm going to do this. I say, if I recall, you can still call people on one of these, right? Have you ever thought of just picking up the phone and calling somebody? And people that are under 40, they don't think about that. Well, I couldn't call them. I said, well, why couldn't you? You texted them, their phone number, call them up and see what's up. You got to do something different. I don't know if I told this story, but it's a good story for this. I had a client, and he had a person that was doing business development for him because he wasn't particularly good at that. And she sent she sent a text asking for a meeting, I think in our business, a capabilities meeting with Amazon, with the person who did the movie, made all the movie. And I have this somewhere, and I could share it with you, but blank. He wrote her back with one of the greatest emails I've ever seen. I'm not interested in your capabilities. Thank you for reaching out to me. I'm very, very busy, and so is my staff. What I am interested is if you have any ideas about how we could sell our movies to our audience better. If you have some ideas on that, send them to me, and if I like them, I'll take time out from my busy schedule and have a meeting with you. I mean, that's one of the most valuable emails you could ever get. The person's basically saying, don't waste my time. If you have something that can help me, I'm interested. In other words, I'm interested in me and my problem. I'm not really interested in you and your capabilities. So anytime, and this is to go back to the young people that Chris was mentioning trying to get started, have something when you get to talk to those people that provides them a solution to a problem they perceive they have. People will listen to that. Everybody's looking for that answer. And it's challenging and it's hard, but if you keep at it, and I think it's best to be honest, don't try to pretend you're the mill. If you get somebody on the phone, say, look, we're new. We're getting into the business. We're good. I did these things. You might have to do some work for low money or free for friends. Make up your own commercial. Make up your own whatever. Whatever. Have something to show. Show people. I know most people that I know are always willing to listen to an honest young person trying to get work. Not everybody, most people. There are some people that just are never going to be able to do that. They don't have the personality for it, and that's okay. Then you need to find somebody that can do it for you or with you. Now, that could be a business partner, it could be an employee, it could be your partner in life, it could be anybody. There are some people so shy. We used to have a young woman here. I mean, this woman had remember the one who did the sweet and low things for us? Oh man, this woman had so much talent, it was incredible. I'm not sure she could go out and sell something. And if you're watching, I don't remember your name. Maybe you have your own business now. I don't know. But you had enormous talent. I mean, you were kind of quiet. So if you're that person, you have to partner up with somebody who isn't, some way, somehow. So don't, if you really can't do it, and some people just really can't do it, don't beat yourself up. All of these big, let's take Microsoft, which most of us are familiar with. I mean, you have Bill Gates who goes out and promotes Microsoft, and you have all these people, Steve Ballmer and these people in the background who actually make the computers. Most successful businesses have sort of the creative type person, and they have the marketing or sales type person. They're different kind of personalities. That would be my suggestion to you, whether you're a young woman or a young guy. Evaluate yourself. If that's not you, don't worry about it. It doesn't need to be.